right. We are live with another week of Enable Nexus Live. With me today, I've got co-founder Jerry.
Hey, everybody.
We are practicing what we preach today, going to eat some of our own dog food and build some of our social content and do some of the work we were going to be doing anyway, but we're going to open up, show what's going on behind the stage here and build a little bit. So hope you'll join us. Drop comments in. We should be able to see them through the stream. Challenge us, give us some ideas, and we'll just do what we do and hope to make this fun and interactive. All right, so I'm going to share my Nexus screen here. I think this is the right one. Let's see. Yeah, it looks right. Awesome. The dreaded blank slate. So Jerry, I was thinking today I would come and see how good we can do at using our task management tool and some of our custom formatting tools to get some LinkedIn and some Twitter posts built quickly. I'm going to create a new task real quick to just let this run in the background, which would be search through the internet, social media sites like Reddit, find interesting news stories from the last 24 hours that are related to AI and business and security. Compile these as a document with a list of ideas for me to potentially write about in social.
Perfect. While that's running in the background, I do have some questions for you, Randy, because we actually haven't had time to dive in. Right? Nexus has a lot of options on how you create your voice and how you apply that to generate these. So what were some of the inspirations that drove you to develop your writing style and that's stored in Nexus, and how are you using that?
It's a great point. So I had been, I write a lot for this role and all roles, and I've been working on a weekly newsletter for about 2 years ahead of joining Enable. And, the hardest part of that is always just sort of sitting down with this blank screen and starting to come up with unique angles, trying to write something that's useful, and just getting bogged down sometimes on like how much is happening in the AI space and just in the areas that are interesting to me. As generative AI was kind of the inspiration for the newsletter, but also I used it a lot. Tried to find different tools to, do some automatic searching, do some different things that would make that process easier, and built a bunch of tools and things in disjointed ways, right? Things that worked for me, but couldn't necessarily be shared or commercialized. So when we started building Nexus, I think, a lot of us had the same thought. John and James had definitely coded things up. I know, Jerry, you had your own workflows that we all wanted to kind of pour into this tool and try to polish to make the best of what was available, and let users, not need to worry about the AI as much as, it's AI, it's doing some cool stuff, it knows you, but you don't have to worry about the syntax of your script or subscribing to yet another service that may or may not deliver on all of the hype. So we were hoping to centralize and simplify a lot of that experience.
Love it. I see your task management tool has returned some results.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool, and I wanted to start from zero just to give folks a sense. You can see I've got way too many drafts and stuff in here, and let us know in the comments or let us know in the community when you want me to add features to filter. Well, we have filter, but to put folders and different things. Right now, we have a lot of cool stuff on the background, on the backlog. One of those being, I just have a ton of files in here, so I have to search through them. But the top of my list was the output of task management. And here's what's going on in the world that might be worth writing about. It's Reddit versus Anthropic lawsuit, definitely interesting. AI has a surge in cyber threats. I've been seeing that for a long time. I'm curious which story this is now. Might go into that. I think you can see that. Deep fake reporters. Yeah, a lot of deep fake possible with the new video models and things that are making it super easy to spread some misinformation. Info security Europe. That's a cool thing. Could kind of go into that. CISA workforce exodus, right? National security and cybersecurity implications of some of the turmoil at the federal level. So definitely, these are all things. This is a good list. How did this know to do this kind of list for me?
Yeah, is that something you had to train into it, or is that just like a first time user is going to get this type of experience?
I believe a first time user will get close to this kind of experience. A couple differences for me. So one, I've been using it for a while, and I was deliberate in prompting how I asked for specific topics. But two, the details are set by my pie, right? Like, so we have this concept of personal intelligence entity. Got my little Jarvis guy over here, and it knows me, and it knows kind of what I've been working on, what kinds of things I'm interested in. And I will say that the task automation makes minimal use of this right now. It does use it, but in an upcoming release, we're going to make it a whole lot more powerful, such that if we had John on here, make this bigger. Hopefully, folks commenting on the size can see this better. But with John was on, he's been working through our development environment and has a version of this automation that could go forth and write almost an entire book for you, or a white paper, service brief, any kind of content that you might need to build. Very excited to get that out in the world. But even at this early kind of beta phase, it's still pretty powerful and helpful.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I think when I'm talking to customers or new clients or people who come across Enable or Nexus and just want to know more, that what we've built and what we've put in Nexus, it's so complex behind the scenes, right? That there's a lot to it, and you really have to just kind of tackle it one problem at a time. What am I trying to solve for? I'm trying to write a blog, and here are some key steps or pathways that you can navigate through Nexus to ultimately get to that solution. But we can throw 100 different problems at Nexus and get results right for what we need, so it can solve a lot of things. So I like today's journey that we're going through and working on these marketing posts. But I think for anyone out there who's listening, right, it's an important message to say this is actually a complex system. There's a lot more to it than what meets the eye. And join us each week for walking through these different problems that we're walking you through and understanding how to use this tool holistically.
Yeah, and totally. The real challenge, I think, is complexity is almost easy. The simplicity, but the right level of simplicity is the hard part, right? And so, to me, I want to make sure that we have the nuts and bolts working correctly. But we have a whole bunch of things, I think, work ahead of us to make this simpler and faster and easier to use. And some of that feedback directly from people who are using it and getting value, keep this, automate that. It really does matter. It helps us out a lot as we kind of prioritize where we're going next.
Awesome.
Comment here from Nicole. Jerry, what is your favorite use case for using Nexus?
Oh, I'm a depend on my mood kind of user. For business, a lot of times I'm using it for the exact use case we're walking through right now. Posting on my personal social media, populating emails to communicate with our clients, our company socials, posting content or creating content for those. In my personal life, I've used Nexus to help me complete my front flower bed and what flowers I should get and plant next to one another. So that was kind of a fun use case to walk through. And the other thing that I find really engaging when I'm working with clients is just everyone has unique problems that they need to solve for. Just this morning, I sat down with we just had hardscape and landscaping done in the back of our house. And I sat down with my landscaper to talk through how we implement this as a business tool for them, right? How can they do project management and deploy it and help their employees understand where they are in the project and how things need to be sequenced. So that's something that Nexus can be applied to. So from a client perspective, I love just kind of showing or demonstrating how this can solve their problems. For my business, right, I'm doing a lot of social marketing, and then in my personal life, I'm really just using it as a thought partner for anything I need to tackle. Planting my front flower bed, traveling to Colorado, what are some cool places I should stop along our trip and our path. As we're getting ready to get in the car for 25 hours here.
Oh my
So we'll be
gosh.
doing that.
Good thing we've got a mobile app.
Right. Yes. Yes.
No, Nicole uses it to find dinner. That's good. And John, I don't know what John uses it to write. Introduction to a deep intelligence book. I think he's going to be putting out. All right. So we've only just started the process here. Let's dig in. I like the Anthropic versus Reddit data debate. I'm gonna do a shortcut here and actually grab the content from that article to give our model some context here. So we'll pull this in. We can also use our research tool if we didn't have a specific article in mind. But actually, I think what I'm going to do is grab this and send all of this into our researcher. So what happens next is I've found a story that I'm interested in. All right, so I'll just make this our header. Whoops. All right. So Anthropic is being sued by Reddit because of its content. Really, really good content from Reddit that's been scraped and perhaps desiring not to be so. I'm going to research more. And I think I'd like to know a little bit more about both the kind of legal implications and the business implications. I'm using our researcher tool. It's going to come up with some additional sources and information for me on that. Let's see how good it does. Legal issues over AI companies using third-party content. I want to search that. And I would want to find business issues for using AI data for AI.
Yeah, as you're generating that, Randy, talk us through, right? Because you're our lead product guy. Talk us through some of those. What made you guys decide about the query controls, and why is that important and valuable to users of Nexus?
Yeah, this was an adaptation of a tool that James had built, one of our other co-founders, having really kind of going into academia and thinking through carefully, like, what is a good source mean, and what does it mean to do good research, and how to give some of that over to AI. And so some of the things, these metrics you get back, are designed to drive towards searches that help you, either positively or negatively or neutrally augment the content that you're working on as a researcher, and then provide good kind of citations back. So like, for example, this one, data quality in AI is definitely important, definitely related perhaps to how I entered that query. I don't know that it's actually relevant though for the Reddit versus Anthropic. So this tool, I think, gives a little bit more control. It's one of those things that balance between kind of a power tool that just does everything versus a, something with like fine-grained control over everything. So this is more fine-grained, but this is going to find some additional things for me. And actually, what I was hoping it would find related to this would be a deeper conversation on the legal issues involved. So this is a different case, but talking about AI usage and copyright infringement. And we can also see correlation and implementation. Basically, what are the useful quotes that we might find that would be helpful here? And I'm just sort of reading and talking at the same time. So, but what I want to get to is like when what is the precedent? What are the interesting kind of things that might give us a hint into what happens with this Reddit versus Anthropic? Because it's such an important topic, especially as AI is basically training on everything, or if it's not training, it's consuming it. And there's a lot of really hairy decisions that have to be made if that's going to be somewhat protected. If it's all fair use, then we're good. But I don't believe that it will be. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. I'm just gonna lazily copy them all because what I'm hoping to do is get our AI to actually untangle it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of throwing a curveball at you, asking questions because you usually lead this call and you don't always get to slow down. But one of the things that really inspires me about your mindset and how you've helped guide product development around Nexus is you're really thoughtful and methodical about building in questions and making sure that the AI is interactive in a way that gives a user full control, but allows the AI to bring it full self to the table as well. And those two components really working collaboratively. Right. So I know where we are in our journey right now. What we're really trying to get our users to do is really kind of dig into this query and provide really all parts of it, but give us feedback, right, on what's working well and what's not working well and how to make that collaboration more intuitive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely it's like I'm riding a bike and eating a pizza at the same time here, trying to explain my thinking and wear the product hat. But I think that's key right now. Is some of the things even now I do shortcuts because I know that the functionality is it's really really good. But there's a couple things that like I need to tweak to my style that I'll just add in because I want to be sure that if we build it as a function, it's something that a lot of people ask for, want to try to be driven by what our customers need. On the flip side, I know that AI that just solves it for you is not that useful. Even if it's a genius level AI, I think people are going to want to know and see how all of this comes together. And so a little bit of both kind of go into how we think about prioritization and building stuff. Let's see. So I've gathered some additional stuff here. It's kind of a mess intentionally. One of the things that I used to have to do if I was doing a whole bunch of research is I might go through this process and grab a bunch of different files and clips and then organize that and think through or feed that over to ChatGPT or something like that. Now I can have Jarvis, who's my Pi, or I can actually pull over our marketing maestro personality, and I'm going to have that grab all this text, turn on some reasoning, and I'm gonna ask, help organize this information to an informative and entertaining LinkedIn post. Formative. It is helpful to spell correctly. It does send a signal to the AI to work better. So now I'm letting our cognitive model, which is reasoning, take a look at the request and think through how it's going to put it all together. that tends to be a little bit more impactful than just using the straight LLM completion. And let me grab all this. I think I want a little bit more detail. Please add more detail using provided information for sources, additional sources you can cite via links. I'm going to challenge it a little bit because there's so much content that the AI can provide, and we obviously want to make sure that we're not hallucinating here. So I'm saying you can give me a little bit more, but don't make it up. Or if you do make it up, give me a link to double check you. Let's see where we go here. All right. Now I'm going to replace the content on the left with the result from the right because this is now where I want to walk on. Boom. All right. 2 tech neighbors, 10 minutes apart, but we're okay. So it starts with this little kind of dad jokey thing. That's definitely my style, but we'll see if we keep it. Drama, accusation, 100,000 times. Scraping, we disagree, we'll defend, both preach ethical AI. Yeah, this is interesting too because Anthropic is one of the more, their market presence is based on ethics and safety with AI. So for them to be the target of this lawsuit, could be political, could be business tactic, but it's also just an interesting story to see. Even the ones that claim to be above reproach are still doing stuff, and it's very easy to do. So we should just assume that they're all doing it. We believe in open internet. AI companies need clear limitations in scraping. I don't know. It's a little bit self-serving. Case echoes recent rulings. Courts might find AI training infringing on the source material. It's original, copyrightable. Writers aren't. Yeah.
So you're kind of checking this now, right? Like you're going through your head and saying, I know enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so this is going cite. This is citing this case, but I don't have a link to this case. So actually, I might go back to our research tool, clear that out. Just want one query. Yep. Details. Thompson Reuters. Just grab a few more sources here. So this is coming together, and I think I might want to make this a little less goofy. Let's debate. Claude AI wrote this post with Reddit, sue me, asking for a friend. I mean, that's kind of funny. I don't know if I'll keep it, but I appreciate the effort. Yeah, so here we go. This article details the thing. I'm gonna just grab the. I'm gonna grab the details of this thing and cite it in my article. But here it is. I don't think you can see the screen, but all right, let's go back here. Add these details from let me go back to my other screen here. All right.
I love how Nexus has just changed how I work. every single day, right? Like versus copying and pasting and changing back and forth between multiple tools and researching, and this really gives it all in one space. Love the
Whoop, Jerry, I think I lost you. You still there? Oh. Jerry, I don't hear you. Not sure if I'm gonna restart. But yeah, it definitely does change. to Jerry's point, it definitely does change a lot about how I do work. And I just feel like that I have better stuff here. I know that I could quickly, push out a post to say whatever, but I like being able to tie it back to sources to discuss and debate with my Jarvis, and get to the point where I've got a good post here. So let's see here. Let's rephrase this. Improve. Give me some options on how to make this better. I think I'm gonna take this out. Let's see. Let's say drama in SF Internet 2.0 versus AI. All right, the accusation. Reddit claims it 100,000 plus times. Irony, quote of the day. I need to add a paragraph here. Let me get back here. On the legal status of AI scraping and content generation, still up in the air, likely won't be solved for a long. AI moves at light speed. Law does not. Smiley face. Let's see how that rewrites. Yeah, the law can't keep up with AI's speed. I think that's the key piece that I'm trying to put into here. I'm going to get rid of the insight. Related. Some of the details about that. Oh, because no right to Thompson Rose. Copyright encourages people. Yeah. So the question, I think I need another paragraph. The question is, are Reddit forums, which are user generated, a protected content? Right. Reddit needs to make money, but if they crowdsource content creation, what happens when the crowd and their chatbots want that data? That's, I think, where I want to go with that. Oh, this is a little bit more verbose than I think I wanted, but let's go. Yeah, so put that there. And then why this matters, key takeaway, let's debate, and all the other stuff. All right, so now I've got this messy article stub, and it's time to apply my voice as an essay. And then I'm going to format it and should be good to go. Oh, and I'll add a picture. And, oh, Jerry, you're back. Gotta add you to the stage. Sorry about that. All right. So hopefully that hasn't been too boring to watch me work. Now that you're back, what are you thinking?
No, I think that was awesome. I think it was an awesome walkthrough. Want to see what your style applies here.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I trained this on an essay, not exactly LinkedIn. I need to load up my LinkedIn style. But it's also like a good kind of thought model is I like to go from a lot of content and then refine down versus if you just do a little bit style and then add style, I find like you lose things. They drop off. Because style decisions is also about, what to cut versus what to keep.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes when I have writer's block, which is often, I'll start with just a series of bullet sentences and then expand from there and dive into research and essentially pick up right where you led us to and blowing it all out and then narrow down from there. So yeah, that's
boom. All right. This lost some of my formatting, which is a bug we know about. But I'm gonna take our formatter now and turn this into a LinkedIn post and see how we did. Critical developments, AI data scraping, the allegations and responses, high stakes standoff, legal landscape, case study. Yes, this is what I wanted. I love it when it does this.
Tell me more about why you're getting excited there.
So, I mean, this is just structured well, right? So I didn't read it yet. I'm still working my way through it. I have to come back, right? This is kind of changed into like 3 different variations, but I'm still at the, creative ideating part, right? Now I want to come through and I've gotten kind of a candidate post. This I could share, and I'm pretty confident would be high value and people would love. But actually, what I'll do is use some of the written content and create a comic featuring legal versus computers, legal themes versus computer science themes. And I'm going to use our magic prompt to make it much better. I'm going to let this generate while I proofread. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we're going to make a picture for this. And then let's see, the articles. All right, this is a little bit dense. Let's make this more readable. Class between artificial intelligence, digital content ownership, critical point. As continues to be matters. There is bigger problems that I love it. That's against the law. It's debugging. Oh, that's perfect. These are important questions. These questions are urgent. I'm going to format that. This is a little bit more of a blog post than a LinkedIn post, but we can do both. Allegations are awesome. Everyone is formally accused of copying. In response, categories guide products. don't know that. Did they draw that parallel, or did we? Just gonna remove it. I don't hold that point. Legal entity, technology out history. Core challenge left. Legal frameworks are struggling to keep pace with rapid. Certain batteries velocity at which artificial intelligence evolves far exceeds incremental progress of As a result, stakeholders are navigating market, unsettled law, ongoing litigation, practical applications. Case study. This was not 2025, right? What's this? Still have that up in the researcher. $2023, I think, was here. Yeah. So that's just an error. Actually, I don't even need this number here. 2023. Facts. Findings. Not fair use. And narrow scope. Yeah. This was even before. Yep. Usually content.
So Randy, a little bit of a comparison, doing it this way versus pre-Nexus, before Enable, when you have newsletters going back a while, how long would it take you to compose something like this versus how you're composing it now?
Definitely about 3 or 4 times longer. I would usually write one kind of in-depth kind of story like this, and then I provide like blurbs. And in this case, this is I'm slowed down a little bit by the needing to narrate and think out loud on that, but the the bottom line is that this is way faster.
And how has it like broadened the depth or scope of things that you explore to write about?
Yeah, I think it has. It's one of those things I don't even realize I'm doing it, but yeah, I'm definitely like going further into different topics that interest me and structuring it differently. It's not now a constraint of like I've got to sit down and do this thing. It's kind of all mixed together because anytime I'm writing on this platform, I'm also doing the product side of like bug testing and making sure things work. But yeah, this just becomes a tool. Like the style replication and the formatting I just love because it just really saves so much time. I prefer to be editing and removing versus like writing, kind of having to come up with all this stuff, even if I am going back and forth between a chatbot. I think this is good. License or lose. I like this a lot. All right, let's land this plane because I know y'all probably, if anybody's still watching this This has definitely been interesting. I'll drop this whole article in our community. Actually, let me do that right now. This into our community, so you can see it there. One last step, which is create a new chat here. Create a LinkedIn summary of this post and encourage readers to click the link in comments to read more. I don't like that at all. Format this. Oh, well, I should have used the content. Let me. Let's try it now. Okay, emojis, call to action. It's running. All right, that's what I want. So now I'm going to go over to community. See my post here. Share this to LinkedIn, which I don't think you can see on the stage right now. I'm just going to drop this in here. AI versus data ownership. Reddit topic battle you can't ignore.
Perfect. While you're doing that, I'm just going to remind everybody that we go live every week on Thursdays, walking through just different functionalities of Nexus and what it's capable of. You are more than welcome to join us. You're more than welcome to send us a problem ahead of time, and we can tackle that on our live session. And yeah, good times. You never know who's going to be here, and you never know what we're going to be doing.
Yeah. All right. So this is live on my LinkedIn, and I'm just going to create a couple of tweets on it too while I'm here. And then I'm done with this task.
Perfect.
Create 5 engaging tweets for sharing on X related to this content. Link to it. All right. And then, yeah, like I said, we're here every week. So definitely challenge us to write some more things. Hope this process was helpful. Check me out on socials. You'll see these up and let me know how we did.
Great. Thanks, Randy.
Cool. Thank you, Jerry.
Talk to you later.
Have a good one.